Okay, so today we wanted to talk about maintaining the gut health. So many people have been working on resolving some gut issues, whether it's organism overgrowth or lack of digestive enzymes or leaky gut. Um, and that's wonderful, but the journey doesn't end there. The journey continues. So here is our journey that we frequently talk about. And this is for people who have gotten towards the end and they're feeling good. Just to remind you, we need to always think about maintaining and retreating. We always want to think about what was the initial cause of your unhealthy gut, and it's usually something different for everyone. And I know this slide is kind of busy and hard to see, but it's just showing you in the middle 3 blocks that there's a lot of different things that can cause it. It's not just one thing, whether it is something up in the brain that's related to stress, or whether it is food sensitivities, or down in the dark blue box, whether it's gut organism overgrowth, or not having enough motility in the gut, or leaky gut. So thinking about your cause is also what's going to help you with maintenance. So what was your initial cause? Was it the standard American diet that had a lot of gluten? Was it candida or bacterial overgrowth? If so, it may be time to think about cleaning things up again. About every 6 to 12 months, we recommend people doing another candida or herbal treatment. Herbal treatments cover bacteria and yeast. A lot of times people will do that in January. So we say enjoy the holidays, have those foods that you know that are probably not good for you, but then clean up your diet and do another 30-day treatment in January. May also be time to clean up your diet. Twice a year, we offer Metabolic Reset. Mary, our functional nutritionist, leads that in September and January as a group, but then there's also access that you can do that on your own. And that's a 30-day elimination and then slowly reintroducing some foods. That gives your intestines a time just to kind of reset and clean up. Was your initial cause of gut problems stress? Remember the vagus nerve. We're always talking about that. If you're stuck in fight, flight, and freeze, you are not in digest. You're not resting and digesting. We do have a new handout that will be put in some people's portal, and you can request it. We also have lots of videos on things for your vagus nerve, breath work, yoga and Tai Chi, humming and chanting. This particular handout has some QR codes to video resources from a colleague of mine, Dr. Laura Sawyer. Was your initial cause low digestive enzymes? If so, think about what caused that. Is it because you have been on some medications listed here that conventional medicine uses to treat symptoms that is continuing to contribute to leaky gut and an unhealthy gut? If so, think about removing those. Also remember, as we age, we just produce less digestive enzymes over the age of 55. So the treatment for that is to take more digestive enzymes, starting with a lower dose and increasing. Sometimes we use betaine, which hydrochloric acid, and if you get too much hydrochloric acid, you might get heartburn. So you may need to adjust the dose of betaine based on your symptoms of heartburn versus not getting bloating because you didn't digest your food. Usually we say take digestive enzymes with at least your 2 largest meals. Take more during holidays when you're traveling and when you're eating out, because you don't have control over what you eat. They tend to be larger meals that are harder to digest. Ideally, it's taken after a few bites of food. But as we have frequently said, at least get it in there in your stomach about the same time as the food. So that you can break up the food. Remember, we do have supplemental digestive enzymes, and we have a video on digestive enzymes if you need that. Socializing and eating with family is very important. Often that, as we said, comes with unhealthy foods. But we sometimes, when you're not traveling and feasting, we do recommend periods of maybe intermittent fasting. That's a good time to give the intestines a break so it can heal. Usually intermittent fasting is about 12 to 16 hours, a couple of days a week. You have to work into it slowly. And we do have more videos on intermittent fasting where you can talk to us if you're interested in that. Remember, when you are socializing and celebrating, that's great for the vagus nerve. We also have the videos on how to minimize food reactions both in your handout and your portal if you need to reference those, as well as our bad meal protocol that mentions digestive enzymes, making sure you're getting hydration. Some people need to work a little bit more on detoxification, maybe need some glutathione or NAC. Some people are having histamine or allergy reactions, and they might need a little support with antihistamines. As part of our bad meal protocol, we also mentioned collagen protein to coat the intestines, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Or a binder such as activated charcoal or GI detox to bind those toxins. That especially helps with some of the intestinal gas and bloating. Intestinal gas is that's lower down and usually comes on about 2 hours after a meal. Probiotics, that's a very common question that people want to ask. Remember, there's a time and a place for probiotics, and it depends on where you are in your journey. Early on, when people start their gut health journey, sometimes they have too many organisms, and so that might not be the time. But as you've gotten further along in your health journey, that is when we do want to be putting in good organisms. And once your symptoms are better, once you've been stable for several months, and we have balanced gut organisms, in other words, we know that we're not having a lot of symptoms every day. So once you got your check marks and you're doing good, frequently we'll have people reduce their probiotics to every other day or a few days a week. As long as they're not having histamine or allergy issues, we certainly recommend food. Fermented food is a great source of probiotics, such as sauerkraut and kimchi. Sometimes we need supplements, especially if we don't like those foods. We can give you some direction on which supplements. We like combinations, not just one organisms. We usually have people take them with food. If you are having histamine issues, allergy issues, we say spore-based. Diversity. So when you finish one kind and one brand, get something different. That way we get lots of diversity. Sometimes when you add in some of these good guys into the playground of the gut, there's some battles. Sometimes everybody doesn't play nicely on the playground together, and we might get a little extra bloating and gas. So you may need to take half of a capsule or change or decrease the dose until everybody on the playground learns to play nicely together. Sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles, those are those fermented foods that I was mentioning. Pickles, they need to be the homemade kind. The Mount Olive, I think, is the brand around here that I see that's kind of neon yellow-green. Those are not fermented. Those, not the kind I would recommend. Fiber. We have to have fiber to feed those good gut organisms. Our goal is 50 grams of fiber a day, and that is a lot. That's why sometimes we do recommend supplemental fibers as a powder that you might mix with water. This is an example of one that comes as a disc that you put into water. And it not only has fibers down at the bottom, but it has some really cool other nutrients, such as pomegranate, green tea, and elderberry. There was recently a study that showed that pomegranate helps to, and blueberries as well, help to feed a very important organism in the gut that is important for our brain health, our mental health as well. So it's kind of interesting how we're now being able to target not only what probiotics, what organisms, but what fiber that feeds them, what prebiotics that organism or probiotic needs. So let's also think about what you can do daily to maintain your gut health. Um, Smoothies with uh, green leafy vegetables and a little bit of fruit is a great way to get a lot of fiber in you quickly without having to chew. Some people make that a regular part of their day. And if you can sneak in some collagen, that's especially helpful. Collagen is what kind of soothes and heals and it helps to stick together the cells in the intestines to prevent the leaky gut. These are just some examples that we have curated that we've checked out. The Vital Proteins is kind of cool because it comes in little sachets that you can take when you're traveling. What else can you do daily to help your gut? Yeah, nothing would be complete without me talking about poop. Yes, making sure you poop every day, whether you need to increase your magnesium or your water or your fiber. So that's what I had for you today, and I'm going to plant that seed to think about what you can do for your gut health.